One by Senator Hezena on data protection rights, and another one by Senator Seki on ICT development in this country. Mr. Speaker, I participated in developing the Data Protection Act, which Senator Hezena was referring to. But I want to say the challenge we are having with the Office of Data Protection Commissioner is because the Act has not been properly and effectively implemented. And I think that is a matter that should be looked into deeply by the ICT committee that will be looking into this matter. And Mr. Speaker, I think one of the things I have observed, I'm no longer in the ICT committee, Mr. Speaker, because I was very frustrated as a member of the ICT committee, given that my background is in the ICT sector. Everyone in this ministry is clueless, Mr. Speaker. And that one I have to say, starting from the Communication Authority to the ministry, everywhere, the ICT Authority, and I think we cannot develop in terms of ICT if we have people who are running this ministry or sectors in this ministry who do not understand technology itself. Mr. Speaker, Communication Authority, for instance, is headed by a journalist. Ministry of ICT is headed by people who have no clue on ICT. I think that's the starting point, Mr. Speaker. We saw this country made strides in ICT when Bitang Ndemo was in charge of that ministry. I think it's a high time we have to place people who are qualified, who are experienced in the sector, to run the institution under ICT. Because if you listen to the two questions members have asked, and from my understanding of the ministry, there is a serious competence issue in this ministry, Mr. Speaker. When we talk about matters of Office of the Data Protection Commission, I mean, Mr. Speaker, we have a tendency of giving all the jobs to lawyers. We give all the jobs to lawyers, even jobs which require technical input. The Office of the Data Protection Commissioner should ideally be someone who understands technology, ICT, not a lawyer. That is the problem. If you look at CA, CA performed its role better when this gentleman, I've forgotten the name, Wangusi, was in charge.
Give the Honorable Senator a minute to conclude his remarks.
Mr. Speaker, a journalist cannot understand detailed information. He cannot understand spectrum management. He cannot understand issues of transmission of signals and all that stuff. I think it's a high time the appointing authority looked deeply into this ministry so that we have the relevant people to be in charge of the sectors in this ministry and even the parent ministry so that we deliver the technology to the people, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to associate myself with the statement by Senator Hezena and Senator Seki, and I ask the ICT committee, which, Mr. Speaker, I left ICT committee because that committee is on the verge of death because of leadership. And I thought the majority leader will do better by getting the right leadership to lead that committee, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a very important committee that we require strong leadership. So
what
that
is the point
for
of
the
order,
people.
Senator Metho?
You know, Mr. Speaker, the deputy party leader of ODM has made a very serious allegation against the committee of this House. And you know, a statement of fact. May I know, because he has been a member. You see, when an alligator leaves the river and tells you that the crocodile is sick, you must listen to the alligator. I want to know why the Senator Osotsi would actually say that the Committee on ICT is at the verge of death Whereas the chairman of that committee, even when the committees were disbanded, he has been reinstated and has been reinstated on merit, because I was de-whipped on demerit. So I think he has been reinstated on merit. So I would want to know from Senator Osotsi why he would want to make such a serious allegation, and what proof he would have to that effect.
Senator Osotsi.
Mr. Speaker.
Senator Osotsi, just take your seat. Senator Osotsi, all the senators elected and nominated, as far as placing them in committees or leadership positions, they're equal. And no individual senator can discuss the competence or otherwise of the other. And you're fully aware that you cannot discuss, because that borders on discussing the conduct of a colleague. And you know that is out of order. So kindly refrain from that line of an argument and conclude your remarks.
Mr. Speaker, I apologize to that extent, but Senator Methu brought a statement before the ICT committee on a very important matter of drop calls. And that statement was not given the maximum justice it needed. And it actually disappeared in thin air. So you have an answer on that matter already, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to go and discuss the competence of the leadership of that committee, but I was just trying to emphasize that if we have a scenario where there is people who are in leadership, in the agencies, in ICT, the ministry, and even the committee, then we will not be able to pursue the development that we need in this sector, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Boni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the issue raised by the Senator of Marsabit